We need to have a talk. We need to have a talk. I want to get real. I want to talk about wavering and I want to snap you out of it. If you're somebody who's constantly wavering, if you just get blown around in the wind like a little tumbleweed when anything happens in the 3D and you just can't seem to stick to your decision, this video is for you. We're going to skip the pleasantries and I'm just going to ask you a very simple question and I want you to answer it honestly. It's very simple. Aren't you sick and tired? Doesn't it feel like I wish I could be done with this? I kind of am not having a good time. This kind of isn't actually fun. If you're feeling like manifestation is a task, like it's a chore, like you're trying and efforting towards no seeming end, when are you gonna decide to be done? When are we just gonna not do that anymore? Because here's the thing, we are human beings. We're having a human experience. There are emotions. There are times when you're gonna feel like, wow, there's something that happened in the 3D that does not necessarily look good. I don't understand how this thing could be serving my manifestation. I don't understand how this situation is something that I'm supposed to see as favorable. This thing happened, this person said this, and then that happened, but you don't understand, I have this circumstance, and then what if this happened? But so-and-so said this. Always. It's constant because I hear this all the time. I tell you, manifestation is so simple. You decide that you're gonna be the version of yourself having whatever it is you want, and that's it. You just stick to your decision. And if you can't have a firm enough conviction about it, you just keep returning. You keep returning to the conviction every time. You become diligent, you discipline yourself enough to catch yourself when you're in that double-minded state, when you're wavering, and you say, hey, wait a minute, I have a choice here. I'm either gonna continue choosing into the old story, continue recreating it, and continue reaffirming to myself that this situation is the way that it is based on my negative belief systems, or I'm gonna take the new route. I'm gonna take the new path that leads me to my wish fulfillment. New path that leads me to my wish fulfillment. Those are your options. Stay stuck or move on. So whenever you are sick and tired, whenever you are done whining and complaining and being a victim to the circumstances that began with you, you get to make a new decision. At any time, you get to return to that decision. And it's not hard. It's only hard because you think that it's hard. It's only hard because you keep assuming that it's hard. It's only hard because you keep making it hard for yourself. You keep telling this story of, this is hard and I've tried this and I've done that and it still hasn't worked. Why is it still not happening? Why do I still not feel like the version of myself that I want to be? Because you're not being the version of yourself already being it. If you were standing in the wish fulfilled, if you did know what that felt like, if you were truly saturating yourself and embodying yourself in that state, there would be no more questions. There would be no, what if this happens, but this thing happened in the 3D, but I have this in that circumstance. There would be no anything except you living in your fulfillment, except you knowing that everything is working out in your favor, except you knowing that no matter what, you're gonna get what you want. Everything that's happening along this bridge of incidents, everything that shows up on your path is serving to get you your manifestation. That's the only way you can go about thinking about it. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care what the circumstance is. I don't care what the scenario is, what was said before, what happened in the past, how dire the circumstances seem. It is always the same choice. Who am I going to choose to be? The version of myself stuck in lack, stuck in waiting, stuck in wanting, stuck in trying? Or am I going to be the version of myself for which it is already done? Am I going to be the version of myself standing firm in fulfillment? Am I going to back my choice? Or am I going to allow the 3D to tell me who I am? Am I going to allow these circumstances to tell me who I am? Am I going to allow the past stories of the old version of me to tell me who I am? Because if that's what I'm going to do, then I'm going to continue to experience old version of me stories, old version of me scenarios, old version of me thoughts, patterns, beliefs, habits, and behaviors that lead to me being in the same shitty circumstances that I'm trying to get myself out of. So what is the way to just get yourself out of it? What is the way to stop wavering? What is the way to stop being swayed in the wind like a little leaf? You just stop. A lot of people don't like that answer. You just stop. You just make a decision that you're not going to do it anymore, that you're not going to give that much of your power, your attention, and your focus away to something that is no longer serving you. Just stop. And then, how do I just stop? If you were the version of yourself who just stopped, why would you be asking me how to just stop? You would just stop. You make a decision that from now on, I'm not that old person anymore. I don't have that identity anymore. I have a new self-concept, a new awareness of being that allows me to be the version of myself, knowing that it's already done, knowing that there's nothing left for me to do, nothing left for me to fix, nothing for me to tinker with or change or get to conform to my will, because this entire reality, everything I see, came from me. I'm the cause of it all. So if I'm the cause of it all, I cannot expect reality to change until I change. If I see something happening in reality that I don't like, I'm not going to continue to reaffirm it by placing my fear behind it, my focus on it, my attention on it, and continuing to let myself spiral down that rabbit hole of thinking, what if it doesn't go right? Well, what if it doesn't work this time? Well, I've tried all these things. Why is it going to work this time? It's going to work this time because you're going to decide that it's going to work. And that's it. You have to have a level of putting your foot down. You have to be sick and tired. Your 3D does not care about your complaints. Your 3D doesn't care if you think the situation is bad, if you think that these limiting beliefs are holding you back, if you think you have blockages. Your 3D doesn't care. Your 3D cares about who you say you are. That's it. Your 3D doesn't think the circumstances are bad. It thinks that those circumstances are serving you because you're the version of yourself who thinks that those circumstances are supposed to be there because you are still so attached to beliefs that are attached to that old identity that keep making these situations happen for you in your life. And you're putting so much focus on them, so much anger or frustration or doubt or worry or fear, anxiety on these situations, and you have to ask at some point, what signal is that giving? It's not giving the, oh, this thing is not real for me anymore. Oh, I identify as a new version of myself. Oh, this thing doesn't really matter. It's giving, this thing is important. This thing deserves my attention more than my real reality, my internal reality does. And so I'm going to continue to focus on that and somehow still expect to get the opposite result. Let me know when you figure out how that makes sense. We're human beings. We have experiences, we have emotions, and sometimes we look at a situation and you say, maybe this is not the best possible outcome. But you, in this state of emotional frustration, you've forgotten something that is very, very important to remember. And that's okay. I'll remind you now. The orchestration of your manifestation is not your job. How your desires are going to be delivered to you, not your concern. Your role as the conscious creator of your reality, or as the conscious chooser or decider of your reality, is to decide. It's to choose what you want. After that's done, after you choose what you want, you have to go from wanting it to having it. You have to become the version of yourself who is allowed to have that thing, who has become an energetic match to that thing. Whether you want to talk about it in terms of vibration or changing your state, embodying the version of yourself who knows that you get to have this experience, whatever it is, this thing, desire, and this thing, you need to match, okay? You need to be able to coexist, because if not, there's dissonance, there's resistance, there's wavering, double-mindedness, back and forth. And what does that get you? Hot and cold behavior, opposite manifestations, a lot of fucking emotional strife. Nobody wants to deal with that. It's so much more painful to be fighting with yourself to change this belief system or to try to see yourself as somebody who you don't really think that you are, or you can't put your full faith behind being, rather than just to take it for granted that it gets to be the way that you want it to be. That is how you do your job. You make the decision about what you want, and then you decide to have it. You don't decide to just stay in the wanting of it. You never get the things that you want. You get the things that are a reflection of who you are. If you're in a perpetual state of wanting something, trying to make something happen, not understanding why it's not working. Maybe I need to fix this thing, or maybe I'm blocked here, or maybe I have this problem. Who is a person who's thinking thoughts like that? A person for who it's not already done. A person not in the state of the wish fulfilled. A person who doesn't think that they actually get what they want. A person who thinks that reality has a choice outside of them, that reality is making choices for itself, and that you are just subject to it. You're just a victim of circumstance. That's not how this works. And you know that's not how this works. So by continually making a choice, because wavering is a choice, by continually making this choice to keep feeding the old reality, you are making a choice to keep seeing the old reality. So it becomes very simple. You want it, be it. Be it, then you will see it. Very simple. That is it for any circumstance, any scenario, any desire, any manifestation, any situation. Always. Who are you being? At the identity level, can you see yourself as the person who knows that it is safe to have what you want, who knows that you are allowed to have what you want, who knows that you are inherently worthy of having what you want, and who knows that that is a natural thing. It's not a thing that's hard. It's not hard to get what you want. What makes getting what you want hard is thinking that you can't have it. Once you just take it for granted that if I decide that I want it, I can also decide that I have it now, and you feel into the emotional embodiment, you get into the state of the wish already fulfilled, already being done, already being handled. It's pretty fucking easy from then on. That's just it. That's all you do. That's all there is for you to do. The orchestration, the demonstration of your manifestation, how it comes about, is none of your concern. The bridge of incidents is not for you to decipher. It's not for you to say, oh, I think that plank's in the wrong spot. Well, it looks like the leap from that step to that step is a little bit too big. And I think that if I take that leap, I might fall through the crack, and I'm kind of scared of that. And I don't really know what's down there, so I don't really want to take that step. The bridge is showing you that this is the way. This is the path with the highest possibility to your fulfillment. But because from your limited human perspective, you cannot see the fully expanded picture of the infinite possibilities and all the ways and all the alternative lifelines that are coalescing to bring you exactly what you want, you get scared. You get jumpy. You get triggered by the things that are happening. And then you start wavering. And when you start wavering, you start reaffirming the old reality. And then the old reality feels comfortable to keep existing. And then you keep seeing it, so you keep believing in it. But it's not because the old reality is real. It's not because what you see in the 3D is real. It's because you, as the observer of your reality, make it real. You put the feeling behind it, you put the meaning behind it, you put the importance behind it, and you say, this is me. You refuse to detach your identity from the circumstances, from the belief systems. You will not let the old man die. I had somebody ask a question about this. I thought it was pretty obvious because I talk about the old man all the time, that damn stinky old man. The old man is just your old concept of yourself. It's just who you used to see yourself to be. When you bury the old man, that means that that identity, that version of yourself, no longer exists as real for you. It's dead, it's gone, it's old news. So, any situations and scenarios that are reflecting to you in your reality that resonate and correlate with that old man have to die along with him. Now, if you get out a shovel and you go digging in the graveyard, looking for the old man, and you resurrect him and say, look at all this stuff. You were right because look at all this stuff. And the old man goes like, if you go grave digging for the old man, for the old concept of yourself, for your old identity, and you start breathing life into it again, you cannot expect the conditions that are connected to the old man, the limiting beliefs, the identities and aspects of yourself that are no longer serving new you. If you breathe new life back into the old story, you can't expect those conditions in the 3D to die. Once you bury him, he's gone. He's dead. You forget about him. You don't go visit the grave. You don't bring flowers. Maybe you throw a little memorial service. You have one final pity party. You understand where the limiting beliefs came from, what happened to you, why things are the way they are now. You mourn all the things that you manifested. You see the shitty situation for what it is. But after the pity party is over, after the dust is settled on that tombstone, you do not go back. You just don't go back. So while we can leave space for being a human, for feeling real feelings, for having emotions, and I do encourage you to fully feel your emotions, to fully acknowledge them, to not suppress or hold back anything, there has to come a point where you return to origin, to the ultimate self-concept. Once you've buried the old man, you have to be born again. What are you born through? You're born through your awareness of being. You say again, I am. Just simply, I am. I am. I'm aware, I exist, I'm conscious. Hello, being. Hello, being. Just being. Not hello, I'm Aisha, or hello, I'm a mother, or hello, I'm a wife, or a sister. Not hello, I'm anything. Just hello, I am. And then, I am that I am. I am, and whatever I desire, that's me too. And then, I am source, or I am God, or I am universe, whatever you resonate with, doesn't really matter. I am that, and there is no other. There is no other. I am source, and there is no other. Meaning there's no outside cause, There's nobody determining what gets to happen to you, what you get to have, what you get to do, what is okay for you to desire. It's all you. And everything you see is a reflection of you. So in your newfound crystal clear awareness of being, the things you choose to attach to from now on, they have to be based on that awareness. Because if it's based on anything else, anything that's outside of you, it's not really you. The only thing that's really you is you. And the only being that can make decisions about you is you. You have to allow for all the things that are happening in your reality. So if you're wavering, wondering what if this bad thing happens? What about this negative possibility? What about it? Are you going to choose into it? Do you prefer that reality? Because if not, what are you doing? Why are you contemplating it? Why are you putting your precious focus and attention on that instead of where you should be, which is in the state of the wish fulfilled? It's already done. There's nothing left for me to worry about because I already am it, because it already is this way, because I already feel myself to be that internally. So it doesn't matter what I see out here. I know that I validate myself inside, and then it shows outside. I cannot take the old evidence, the evidence that correlates with that old man, and still take it as my truth and not expect to resurrect that old man. I have to stand firm in who I say I am now. And the more consistent I am about doing that, or the more conviction I have in doing that, the quicker the things out here are going to change. But the more I go back and forth and back and forth, the more my reality is going to go back and forth and back and forth. It really is as simple as that. Ask yourself, what do I prefer? Do I prefer to stay in this state of being off balance, not having a stable foundation, not truly knowing who I am and why I get to choose the positive alternative rather than the negative one? Or am I going to continue to be a victim? The choice is always yours. And I understand that sometimes it doesn't seem like you have a choice. That's what the 3D reality is here for. It's here to seem very real, very solid, to give you a good experience. It's here to put on a show. But you are the star. You are the star, you are the lead actress, but you are also the director, the producer. You are all the roles. You are playing all the roles. We forget because 3D reality is so convincing. It's supposed to be. It wouldn't be any fun if it wasn't. But you have to return. Return to the foundation of your being. I am source. I am pure awareness. I'm consciousness. And whatever I am conscious of being is what will be reflected to me in my experience. So do you prefer to let reality choose for you? Outside circumstances, your friends, your boss, your mom, your cousins, your uncle? Or are you going to take back radical responsibility and understanding that if I'm the only cause, I have to choose. And whatever I choose is whatever it's going to be. Because my reality is not going to filter it for me. It can only filter things through my lens, through my awareness. So I have to make the internal shifts. I have to see it differently. I have to see myself differently. Be new self, not work on becoming new self, not try to be new self, not try to convince myself I am new self or try to make myself believe, but just know it. Just believe it. Just do it now. And don't leave any option for anything else. The other alternative is already dead. It's gone. It's buried. So now your path is fulfillment, and that's it. So that means that everything that happens for fulfillment, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, no matter what I see, I'm getting what I want anyway. I have to get what I want because I'm the only one who gets to choose. You think your choice is more powerful than mine? No, of course it's not, because this is my reality. You can do whatever you want in your reality. That person who's telling you, oh, that thing can't happen, well, that's just not possible. Oh, you can't do that thing that way. Or why would that thing be for you? That's not how that works. Okay, are you gonna let them choose? Just because they said it, is it automatically fact? Or are you the fact checker? Are you the one deciding? Are you going to reclaim your power? Or are you just gonna continue to give it away? Because if you're gonna continue to give it away to the constantly blowing, changing, rearranging 3D, then you are constantly gonna be off kilter. You're never gonna know what to do with yourself. You're gonna always be wavering. Your mind is always gonna be in a state of chaos because you have no foundation, because you don't know where to place your faith. You place your faith on the internal. You get some fucking conviction about the things that you want. You start deciding that it has to be the way you want it to be because that's how you said it's gonna be. And that has to be it. There has to be no more further justification. You have to stop playing with your logical mind and trying to reason your way into letting yourself have what you want. And you just have to let yourself have it. That's really how it goes, because you can only reason with yourself so much, because limiting beliefs are convincing. You believe them for a reason. And they like it here. They like chilling. They feel like they're serving you. They're serving your interests because they're matching that identity, showing you exactly what you want to see. So if you don't tell them that you not only want to see something different, but that you are already seeing something different, they're going to continue projecting based off your signal. So give yourself the time, the grace, whatever it is you need to work through, whatever you need to work through. If you feel like there is a process, or there's some deconditioning, or there's some subconscious work, whatever belief system work you think you need to do it. If that's your permission slip, do it. Once that's done, and once you lay it to rest, there's no more space for feeling sorry about yourself. There's no more space for being a victim, and there's no more space for blaming yourself either. Blaming yourself for doing things in a state of unconsciousness, in a state of not knowing. But now that you know, it's a choice. Every time you let that reality suck you back in, it's a choice. Every time you continue to spiral, when you know exactly what you're supposed to do, but you're so attached to going back the other way, it's so easy for you to slip back into that mentality that you just let yourself do it anyway. You're fucking yourself over. There's no excuse. Your reality is not going to give you a free pass because you are not giving yourself a free pass. And your reality cannot do anything that you do not allow it to do. So once you're done, once we're done with the pity party, once we're done questioning and asking and reasoning and searching for problems and limiting beliefs and trying to fix ourselves, some real progress can happen. Then some real shifts can be made. Because when you free yourself up, when you understand that this old identity, this old story that you are so attached to is only real because you are making it real, then you can just say, oh, this is just a game I'm playing with myself. Oh, I can make a new choice anytime? Bet. And then you do it. That's it. I think that people get so hard on themselves because they're like, why am I not perfect right now? You don't ever have to be perfect. The standard is never perfection. It's realizing that you are already as perfect as you're gonna get. However imperfect it may seem, it is perfect. You're as close to perfection right now as you're ever gonna get. There's nothing wrong with you. Nothing needs to be fixed. Nothing needs to change. You are already everything that you could ever want to be. You have to see your own potential. You have to allow yourself to thrive. You have to allow yourself to see yourself the way you want to be. And then you just have to be it. It is as simple as that. When you lock in on that awareness, when you truly make your choice, when you have conviction in that choice, the other things don't matter. The noise quiets down. You get very clear about understanding that it's here. It's here and here. And when these two things are working together, when they're nice and synced up, that heart and mind coordination, when your heart wants something and your mind automatically goes to having something, that is heart and mind coordination. There's no resistance. There's no wavering. There's no second guessing. You just know that you get to have what you want and that's it. Let that be the end of your story. Let that be your wish fulfillment. I get to have what I want no matter what. Let's move on. Guess what? I still get to be the version of myself. I still get to be that version of myself. I still get to be that version of myself. You tell it to every circumstance. Guess what? I still get to be it. I still get to do it. I still get to have it. No matter what. Normalizing wavering, telling yourself that it'll never get easier, that you'll never get to a state where you can easily let go of doubts, you can easily release, you can see the belief for what it is, you can be that observer and automatically see it, recognize it and let it go, and for it to not be a big deal, to me that's limiting. To me, you're not seeing your own potential, you're not seeing your full capability, because you're not seeing yourself in the fullness of who you are. The fullness of who you are knows no limitations, no circumstances, no conditions to creating, having, being, anything. It just decides to be and it is. So maybe you don't start off at that standard of perfection that you have built up in your head and you think that just because you're not there that you're never gonna get there, so might as well just waver and wallow in pity. But I'm telling you right now, you can choose also, just like you can choose everything else, you can choose that it's easy. You can choose that wavering's not a big deal to you. You can choose that even if you do, really, you didn't. You can choose that it doesn't affect your manifestation. You can choose that it's happening less and less, that it happens so rarely you barely even notice it because your brain automatically shifts back into the version of yourself you know you need to be. You can do that. Nobody's stopping you. Nobody's telling you you can't, except you. And that's really the only person who matters. So stop. All right, you guys, that's gonna do it for me today. I really hope you guys enjoyed and got something of value from this video. Please feel free to leave your thoughts in the comment box below, and also check out the description, social media links, services, all that good stuff is down below. And other than that, I love you all so much. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.